I'm going to show you a little bit about the DNA of euphoria science, where we show people how to transform their state of well-being through health and wellness. I don't know about you, but have you ever wondered what it would be like to be happier? Most people are looking for better health and wellness, community, sense of purpose, of course, maybe some more money and time freedom. I don't know about you, but there's a really crazy epidemic going on out there and has been for quite some time. And it's really based on a couple of things. One of them is what we call the SAD diet, standard American diet. It's pretty sad, full of excess sugar and refined carbs and saturated fat. I saw a post by Dr. Eric Kaku yesterday that we as a country, the US, has a mortality rate, unfortunately, much younger than almost the rest of the world. And a lot of that has to do with diet. The other thing is stress, right? Stress, I don't know about you, but I get stressed out and I don't feel great. And then on top of that, when I'm stressed out, I tend to crave bad stuff. That's why they call it comfort foods. The comfort foods are what? The bad stuff, but they're comforting you. That's why they call them comfort foods. But at the end of the day, we have a problem, and the problem is there's too many people that are overweight. You might know some of them. The other thing that's going on, it's happening right now, and it's been for the last couple of years, and that is economic challenges. I know you know all about the gas prices and other craziness going on, and it doesn't seem to be getting better, but the reality is these financial challenges or economic challenges for a household are real. You can see on the screen here, this was a 2020 demographic, but the average bottom three segments of the US households were only earning about 41,000. This is down from where it used to be. And now that you can see here, it's between 14,500 to 67,000. That's based on number of people that are earning a check in a house. So you can look up some of these links. But at the end of the day, it's a challenge. It might be a challenge in your household. One of the biggest challenges out there that people deal with is financial infidelity, meaning this is a study, 2 in 5 relationships are negatively impacted by their financial situation. Financial stress can also impact your health. I don't know about you, but going back to that stress, sometimes when you have financial challenges, that's high stress, and then the high stress leads to that comfort food eating, and people gaining weight or being unhealthy because of financial stress. Believe it or not, you might have experienced that previously in your life. This year, back in March, we sort of joined forces. Euphoria Science has been around since 2018, but it joined forces with a company called Amplify and Happiness Brands, and created a sort of a joint venture, if you will, with its 2 companies and their innovative technologies around nutrigenomics. And we're going to talk a little bit about nutrigenomics, but you've probably heard of your DNA. I know you've heard of it, but did you know that you're truly one of a kind? A lot of people refer to DNA as one of a kind, which it is, and fingerprints. I don't know if you know this, but your eyes, the irises of your eyes are one of a kind. Your lips are, if you really look at your lips, they kind of have a fingerprint aspect to them. That's unique and one of a kind. No 2 people have the same lips. No 2 people have the same tongue. I know that sounds crazy. You may not have heard that, but I've studied this whole DNA thing for a little while now, and it's pretty interesting how unique we are. But I don't know if you know this, but you're made up of billions and billions of lines of code, and that's what makes you you. The color of your skin, the color of your hair, color of your eyes, and of course the uniqueness that I just mentioned. But there's really a secret to your health span, is what we call basically your biological age. You know, how old your body is right now, not necessarily your actual age, but how old your cells are. And here's a depiction of that you can see on this screen. We focus on, we're going to talk about cellular health. But I don't know if you remember this from school. You know, we learned about in science, basic science, chromosomes and telomeres. Well, I don't know if you remember, but your DNA is inside these chromosomes, and these chromosomes are inside the nucleus of your cell. Everything's about your cell. And, you know, if your cell isn't healthy, then your organs aren't healthy. And if your organs aren't healthy, then you as an organism isn't healthy. But what we really focus on here, and the depiction of this slide, is really about your telomeres. You see, the telomeres are the tips of your chromosomes. And your telomeres, as you age, they get shorter. And the shorter they are, the shorter your lifespan or your health span. So the goal should be fueling or helping your cells through your DNA keep the length of those telomeres. That's kind of the secret to your health span, is giving the fuel your cell needs on a cellular level to maybe reverse the damage or lose weight or get healthier. And that's what nutrigenomics is really all about. And you may not have heard of nutrigenomics yet, but it's kind of the next big thing. As you can see here, by 2026, it's going to be an almost $2 billion industry around genetics. And you've probably heard of some of the genetic testing companies like 23andMe or Ancestry.com. You may have had a DNA test to, see what your ancestry is, where your DNA is from on the planet. That's sort of the basics of DNA testing. But what nutrigenomics is the study of how your genetic makeup interacts with your diet and affects your health. That's really the key and what nutrigenomics is. So what the future is, this big new aspect of what's happening in the health and wellness industry, is learning from your genes in these DNA tests how you can have a healthier life or a longer lifespan, or like I said, we call it the health span. So Euphoria is the only company of its kind that puts you in a position to actually not have to guess anymore of the nutrition that you buy. I don't know, when you go to any kind of store these days, you can go to the grocery store, you can go to Walmart, you can go to a health food store, you go down the vitamin aisle, and how many options are there for vitamins and minerals and supplements? I mean, it's crazy, right? And then if you're looking for, or your doctor says you got to take more vitamin D or A or B, whatever it is, there's 17 different brands and different milligrams or grams inside this nutrition. How are you supposed to figure it out? Well, the greatest way for you to figure it out is through this nutrigenomic process, or getting a DNA test. So that's what we do. We actually can take action on our DNA and create a customized supplement or customized nutrition based on your DNA. It's literally completely customized for you, by you. So you take a DNA test, it's a simple swab, and it returns in a report a little bit about what's called epigenetics. It tells you what your lifestyle habits are based on your what are called SNPs. SNPs is a single nucleotide polymorphism. Remember, I said that single nucleotide polymorphism. We're going to come back to that, but we can create almost 400 million different variations with our unique and custom and proprietary nutritional supplement that's based on you, for you. It's called nutrition. That's what you see here on the screen. And you can only get it by taking a DNA test. So when you take a DNA test, again, it's a simple swab test. What happens is it takes a couple weeks, and it brings back a report that looks something like this on the screen. There's 4 different reports, but the report basically tells you, based on your SNPs, that single nucleotide polymorphism, or SNPs, what genetic variations you have. And you can see here, you don't have to absorb this right now, but green means you didn't get this genetic code in your DNA from either of your parents. Yellow means you got this SNP, or single nucleotide polymorphism, this genetic variation from one of your parents. And if it's red, you got it from 2. And then each one of these 18 categories means something. And this is depicted in the report. It's a multiple page set of reports. Actually, again, there's multiple reports, but if you're really interested in getting healthier or losing weight, or you're really into fitness, you want to really excel, this is really going to help you understand what your lifestyle changes could and should be, depending on what you're trying to do, like lose weight. And then based on the report and your genetic profile, we're going to create a customized nutritional product for you. This is what the reports look like. And again, there's 4 reports. You can buy 2 or all 4 of them. Most people get what's called the healthy aging report. That's probably the most important one. And then if you're looking for weight management, I think that comes with the 2 report, or all 4 of them. You can also learn about your skincare. But this is really critical if you're really taking your health serious. Now, the marriage that I told you about with the Happiness Brands is a product line that specializes in gut health. And if you're human, you probably have leaky gut. They say in some of these studies that we see, but over 90% of the US population has some form of leaky gut syndrome. What does that mean? What it really means is, your gut and your intestinal lining, right? It forms, basically leaks in the intestinal lining, and those leaks then leak out the toxins that you're consuming, the toxins that you're drinking, the bad stuff we talked about in the food. You know how it works, right? You eat food, and your body goes through this process of digesting it and then kind of sending it out the other end, right? You know what I'm talking about. And what's the kind of outcome or point of that is that process is taking the bad stuff in your body that you consumed, or that's in the food you eat, from steroids and antibiotics to whatever else is in there. Or depending on where you live, you might have issues with water that's not as healthy for you. But the point is, leaky gut, actually, if you have leaks in your gut, in your intestinal tract, the bad stuff that's trying to get sent down the toilet is actually leaks into your bloodstream. And this is what leads to health issues. This is what how you get inflammation and everything under the sun if you have a leaky gut. And if you're living in the US, you probably have some form of leaky gut. And you'll know this if you have too many headaches, if you have brain fog, if you have almost any health-related ailment or issue, if you're going to the doctor for something, or if you're taking over-the-counter medication or prescription medications, that's usually a sign that you have something going on. And usually it's a derivative of poor gut health. So Happiness Brands focuses on gut health. In fact, it's got probably the single greatest gut health technology and products in the health and wellness industry. And their flagship product line is called the Gut Health Triad. The Triad, you can see here on the screen, is a group of 3 products, why it's called the Triad. And they're they're formed in and separated based on unique and proprietary technology within each one of these three products. So for example, of course, you've heard of pre and probiotics. You see commercials for it all the time. Most people haven't yet heard of postbiotics. So our flagship product called BioMyX is basically the derivative of a postbiotic inside these gel caps. And inside these gel caps are what are called butyric acid. And it's called BioMyX because it really is helping your gut microbiome. It's kind of a magic pill, if you will. If your body was really healthy and you were eating a lot of vegetables in particular, your body would produce naturally fiber, or the fiber from those vegetables would create a mechanism naturally within your body to create what's called butyric acid. So this BioMyX is sort of a hack where there's actually three forms of butyric acid called tributyrin that are in these gel caps, and they sort of bypass your stomach lining and get to your intestines, where they can help reverse the damage if you have any kind of leaky gut. The second one is called Happy Tides. We actually have three flavors. Now, remember I was talking about the single nucleotide polymorphisms. That's your SNPs. That's your genetic markers. Well, what a nucleotide is actually the fuel or building blocks for your DNA, which is inside your cells. So imagine if you could put exogenous, that means you're putting nucleotides inside your body. It's another hack, so that your body has the fuel to help your cells duplicate in a healthy way. Again, going back to grade school and science, when if your cells aren't duplicating in a healthy way, they're mutated, and that's what causes problems. So Happy Tides is also another flagship revolutionary product that has very high fiber and these exogenous nucleotides. So the nucleotides is another hack. When you marry that together with the BioMyX, if you go to the Happiness Gut Connection on Facebook, you can see all the testimonials and stories and outcome over the last couple of years of what these two products have done for people. And then finally, to round out this triad, we have what's called Happy Humol. And these are very powerful antioxidants. In fact, it has three of the most powerful antioxidants known to science. And the real feature product that you really can't get anywhere else is called xanthol humol. And xanthol humol is actually from the hops plant. You've probably heard of that. They used to brew beer. So the hops plant actually has an extract that's called xanthol humol that's actually an incredible antioxidant that's really good for you. And it's got a blend of several others that, again, are the most powerful. So when we combine these three together, that's what we call the gut health triad. Now, the reason the triad is really important is that if you're going to go through the process, and of course we recommend that you do, if you're going to go through the process of getting a DNA test so you can get your SNPs back, so we can customize nutrition for you, well, that supplementation needs to be absorbed in your body. So if you have a poor or not as healthy as a gut microbiome as you should or could have, what's happening is you're not absorbing any nutrition. You're not absorbing the nutrients in your food. You're not absorbing anything you're taking even over the counter, the basic vitamins you're buying in the store. So it's very important that you get your gut health as optimal as possible so that it can absorb the supplements or the nutrition that you're consuming. What you see here is a very broad product line. Ask the person who invited you to this presentation to tell you more about our other products. We have some revolutionary products. I'm just explaining to you sort of our flagship core products, obviously around custom nutrition and gut health. So the reason you're here is we have what's called a word of mouth distribution model. That means you can't find our products in the store. They're not available on the shelf. They're only available through a network of affiliates. These are home-based entrepreneurs that work from home, and they do events, and they have house parties, and they do trade shows, and every way that we can share our products. And usually we share by telling the story of the outcome of what the products did for us. So whoever invited you here, ask them what the products, if they haven't told you already, what the benefits of the products have been for them. But there's an opportunity attached to it. And it's part of what's called the gig economy. I don't know if you've heard of the gig economy yet, but it's pretty significant. And that's because there's a growing number of Americans that currently, I think it's 34%, you can see on the screen, about a third of the US adult population have a second job. We call that a side gig, right? And it's going to continue to increase. And you see these logos here on the screen, Lyft and Uber and Airbnb, DoorDash. You might even know someone, or you might be someone that drives an Uber, for example. And so this is part of the gig economy where people are supplementing their income. Remember, we were talking in the beginning of this presentation about the financial challenges that are out there. So too many people have lost their job the last couple of years because of the virus. Too many people need more money. Everybody needs more money, frankly. And so a lot of people are picking up these side gigs. You can see here in the Uber, the average full-time, this is a full-time, so that's not even a side gig, full-time for an Uber driver is about $42,000 a year. Now, remember I was telling you about that financial scale. This is right in line with the single check household income earner, full-time if you're driving an Uber. And this is, you can see by comparably, you can look this stuff up. Over on DoorDash, which we use a lot in my house, average DoorDash person can gross just under $1,000 a week. Now that might seem like a lot for both of them actually, but this is gross income. It's not counting fuel costs, the cost of their car payments and insurance, and all that comes out of the cost of them being in business. Now, this is the side gig economy, but what we are involved in is what we would call the ultimate gig. Here's why. It's still a side gig, and most people are part-time in this business. Most people that are involved with us have a job, and they do this on the side. They do it in the evenings, they do it, on the weekends. But the reason it's an ultimate gig is that we have something that the Ubers and the DoorDashes don't have, and that's what we call a residual income. And that's because what happens is that people order our products every month, month in and month out. You probably have one or two or three auto ships, as they call them, for different products. Like my wife has an auto ship for clothes that shows up over here. Every month there's a box of something that shows up and she can send it back. Or we have an auto ship of the pet foods that show up here. You probably have something similar. So what that creates for the company behind this sort of auto shipment is what's called a residual. And this is applicable here for the ultimate side gig with our company. So as you develop customers, if you sell our products, then those customers do the same thing. Every month they're buying from you, and that's called a residual income. Now, why is this important? If you're an Uber driver, you don't have a residual income. The only way you make money is driving the Uber every day. And if you don't drive the Uber every day, you don't make any money. And by the way, this is true for most businesses. If you're a realtor, you don't make any money unless you sell the house. That's not a residual. In fact, you'd be surprised how many realtors have side gigs trying to create residual income. So anyway, there's extraordinary benefits to our side gig besides the residual, and that is you earn overrides from people that also are part of your team. It's an incredibly low overhead. You can get started for next to nothing. There's extraordinary tax benefits being your own boss, working from home, and we have an extraordinary community. Here's a quote that I really like in red here. It's very relevant to what I'm talking about. And the quote is, I would rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. So going back to the example of Uber, I'm only going to make whatever money I can make with 100% of the hours I put in of my own. So my efforts, 100% of my efforts is going to generate whatever that's going to generate. But if I had 1% of 100 people's efforts, I'm likely to make a lot more. Does that make sense? So that's why that's very relevant. So you have the opportunity, somebody invited you here because they wanted you to see this presentation because they thought you might be a perfect fit for maybe adding a side gig. Maybe they know about you because they care and they're friends of yours that they know you're looking for something to do, maybe to earn some more money, or there's something else going on you need help with, or maybe you just want to be a customer, or you know some people that could really use these products, and why not earn your products for free? We pay 6 different ways with what's called our compensation plan when you become an affiliate, which is what we call a nutritionist is an affiliate. You make money selling the products. You earn retail bonuses for selling those products. You earn overrides from your community. You can earn check matches based on the people that you enroll and the success that they have. We even pay bonuses based on the growth of your team. And then every month we do promotions where you can earn shares in a pool. So those are 6 different ways that you can make money. We also have what's called a B2B2C. It's a business to business to consumer model where you can actually take our products direct to doctors and chiropractors and wellness practitioners so that they can share our revolutionary products with their patients and customers. It's a revolutionary program. We have an incredible training program that's led by the #1 trainer in the category of chiropractic in the world. His name is CJ Mertz. He runs the training of that program and teaches you how to go talk to these wellness practitioners and share our products and stories. And it's pretty game changing because it's different than some of the other similar distribution models where you just talk to people. You do that too, but this is a way you can go to doctors and practitioners who, when they learn about our technology, they're always all in. But it allows you to leverage their database of patients as customers, and then they can supplement with a residual income in their practice to ask the person who invited you to hear more about that. It's very powerful. So I just have a question for you. If you could have better health and wellness, if you could be a part of a community and maybe a better or greater sense of purpose, and of course, if you're interested in making a little more money and have some time freedom, would you be interested? Hopefully the answer is yes. So it's for you. This opportunity could be for you if you want to feel better and get happier and join a group of people that are like-minded. And by the way, you're never in business by yourself here. We're all in this together. You become your own boss in this side gig economy, working for yourself from home, but you're not by yourself because we do it all together. So if you're ready to make some money, have some time freedom, ask the person who invited you here for more information, and they'll tell you how you can get started, at least trying the products if you haven't already, or jump right in and become a nutritionist and join the movement of helping people change their financial and health and well-being outcomes, and hopefully help them in their pursuit of happiness. That's really what we do here. So again, thanks for being here. I appreciate your time. And again, get with the person who invited you here and they can tell you more.